He's ready.
Do it. Come on,
What?
Clay. Come on, Clay.
Tips, Fedora.
Excuse me, have you seen my red swing
Oh
line
my
skateboard?
god. So, for those of you who come into the channel regularly for the live streams 3 nights a week, you've seen the crew play a game called In Silence. It's a game where we scream like small children and we laugh like hyenas, depending on which side of the spooky stuff we manage to get in on the selection screen. In Silence is a multiplayer, objective-based escape game in which a team of survivors attempts to locate all the missing parts of their broken-down car and escape while a murderous Demogorgon Grave Encounters hybrid monster chases you through the woods and tries to eat your face. The big plot twist being that the monster is mostly blind and any noise will alert him on his highly evolved little Halo HUD that sits in the corner that his monster genes have given him. So let's talk about this game and decide if it sucks or not. Gameplay in Silence is seriously fun for a game in its genre, the horrid, shitty, budget horror game genre, which is extremely saturated right now. There are so many budget horror games under the $10 mark that I'm sure the Unity engine is crying at the seams because it's tired of being used and abused so much to make these. Now, if anyone has played games like Damned or Dead by Daylight, the objective is fairly similar. You do the thing to the things and find the things so you can escape from the big scary monster. Now, from the survivor side of things, the game can be terrifying. The monster is modeled incredibly well, and the ambient sounds are spooky as hell. The monster's audio can bring serious amounts of panic to grown men, alright? Especially when it goes into its sprint mode, which is super fast, super loud, sounds like a pig being stuck in a chainsaw. It's really, really, really uncomfortable. The sounds the monsters make can clue in the survivors as to whether the monster's hunting, sprinting, or it has no idea where anybody is and it's just walking around. Alternatively, the monster can't really hear anything that the survivors are doing, and it relies heavily on the HUD that displays direction and distance to any loud noise on the map. Survivors can use this to their advantage by throwing rocks, turning on TVs and radios, and setting off fireworks to distract the monster while they hurriedly search the map for the car parts needed for an escape. The stress-inducing moments as a survivor are terrifying. They're harrowing as hell, but it's really rewarding when you manage to steer the monster away from you or your friends or into a trap that you set for it. Now, if you do manage to die, you get to turn into this adorable little mouse, and you can either screw over or help your survivor friends by squeaking. This will attract the monster to the noise that you make. By the way, in the game, be wary of drawers in houses. There's jack-o'-lanterns inside of them, and they are terrifying. They also alert the monster, so just be wary of that. Overall, I give the gameplay a solid 8 out of 10 for a game at the $10 mark, and it's trying to make its way into an oversaturated sea of shit that is the budget horror game market. It's very oversaturated right now, so to be a gem in that, it's almost hard for people to find you. But this game, 8 out of 10 on the gameplay, man. It's pretty fun. Now, graphically, it's a Unity engine game, and it is exactly what you would expect out of a Unity engine game at a $10 standpoint. To be honest, you're not going to see too many graphical flaws in a game where it's darker than a coal miner's ass crack outside, and the only exception really to this is the thunderstorms, which, by the way, will scare the shit out of you. They're the loudest thing in the game, and they actually look really, really good for being in a Unity engine game. And coming in at second best looking is the monster. The death screen where the monster captures you is loud and violent. The monster clearly got a lot of work in the design department, and I can't fault the devs at all for focusing on that heavily because they did such a good job at making this amalgamation of body parts look scary as fuck. Now, the locations such as houses and tents on the map are pretty underwhelming, but they serve their purpose. It's just a searchable area for items to be placed in and for you to go find stuff. So they do their job, but you're not going to have your mind blown by the houses. If you're looking for a game that goes over the top graphically, you might want to look somewhere else because this game is not the holy grail of graphics. Overall, I'll throw them a bone here and give the graphics a 6 out of 10, just because the monster and the thunderstorms look so good that I can't really give them like a 4 out of 10 because the ground looks flat everywhere. Buildings are not textured incredibly well, but the monster and the thunderstorms are freaking awesome. So 6 out of 10 on graphics. Now, as a gamer, a main concern that comes up with a lot of us is replayability, and generally I stick to the rule of thumb that I want to get an hour of gameplay per dollar of money spent. As of this review, I have 2.8 hours in the game. I spent $10 on it, and personally, I don't believe that I will get every dollar I spent out of this game, but for $10, it's not like I've only gotten 3 hours out of a game that costs 3 or 4 times as much. There's really no progression to be had in the game as far as levels, and the only objective that really exists is to either escape or kill all the survivors. There aren't any extra perks to unlock or items to obtain. You kind of just get what you get. If this game costs double what it does, that would be a feature I would expect, levels and progression. But at this price point, I believe the amount of money you spend is fair, and I don't think you should hesitate to spend it. Hopefully, in the future, the longevity of the game will be extended via some content additions, maybe some DLCs, but I'm not really counting on seeing DLCs in a game that's in this type of genre. I'm feeling more like they're just going to add stuff to the game to try and sell it a little better. And the possibility of this is pretty good, and it looks like the devs are updating the game almost on a monthly basis, and they seem to be trying to stabilize and push out patch notes on the base product before adding to it, which is something I commend. I'd rather than make the base game good before they try and add some shit to it, which is only going to screw it up more. If you're concerned about the replayability of this game, you may want to give it some more time and put it on your watch list to see what else, if anything, gets added to it in the future. Overall, I give the replayability of this game a 4 out of 10, but that number may increase in the future as they add more things to do. So if you're looking for a fun game to play with friends that doesn't break the bank, In Silence is a great option for the budget horror players. It's got all of the right elements for an escape-style horror game, and depending on the group of people playing, it'll give you at least a few sessions of play before it gets boring for you or your group. You'll get plenty of scares and plenty of laughs to make the price tag worth it, and overall I would give this game a solid 7 out of 10 on the fun scale. So go out, pick it up, and enjoy a few fun nights with your buddies scaring the hell out of each other. As always guys, head down to the description and get yourself into the Crew Shack Discord for giveaways, memes, fun conversations, and general bullshit. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you suck that subscribe button and give the notification bell a good reach around. If you're wanting to get updates in other ways, you can also check out my Twitter and Instagram, links down in the description. I'm Crew Dog. I'm going to go slam a monster and break my mountain bike. Y'all take care now.